What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 99 of the Game Moves podcast, a palindrome episode.
Yeah.
I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Turford, alongside the broccoli Brock McLaughlin.
That's me. How's it going?
I decided to go in the order I'm looking at again, just to throw you guys off.
Thanks. I like being thrown off my game.
I feel like if I go to Brock first before you, Drew, of course, the ghost with the most, Drew McMillan's also here.
You got to keep us on our toes.
If I do it that way, Brock will feel less awkward during the intro, not knowing where to look at the camera, so if I go to him first, he's like talking and sort of nodding. See, right now he looks comfortable.
Yeah, he's acknowledging the camera.
Yeah,
you're like a professional.
He's acknowledging that people out there are actually watching this.
I took a week off and got some lessons. Okay, that's where I was.
Yeah. We sent Brock to media training.
Not a concert that we brought up on the podcast, of course. You just went to go do some training.
Yeah.
Training for the 99th episode of Game Moves, which is 1 week away. We're one episode away from episode 100 next week.
Yeah.
So get hyped, everybody, because it's going to be an amazing show. Of course, though, we're not there yet, folks. Let's talk about this week's show. So on today's show, we got a lot of sad news this week. We are going to talk about EA closing Visceral Games.
Yeah.
And that whole kerfluffle that if you haven't been living under a rock, you probably know all about by now. We're also going to talk about NeoGAF. I don't really use NeoGAF, but I know you guys do it a little bit, so we'll talk about what's going on with that. But of course, we have lots of stuff we've been playing, so let's start off with that this week. So, Drew.
Yes.
What have you been playing this week?
A little game called Shadow of War. Yeah, I don't know if
that's the Jurassic Park theme, though.
Yeah, I don't know why that's relevant.
Yeah, that was weird.
I've been playing a lot of Shadow of War.
I want an open world Jurassic Park game, though, now.
Yeah. I'm surprised that well, there was one. It's called Dino Crisis.
Well, there was also one for the SNES. Remember the top-down one?
That's true. There was that.
The game was so good.
Yeah. And then they did the side-scrolling one, Jurassic Park 2, where it was just like a side-scrolling shooter.
And
where you played as the raptor.
No, that was in the Genesis version.
Okay.
And don't forget the Xbox exclusive coming next year, the Jurassic Park game as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
The one where you build your own theme park.
That looks like a mobile game.
Yeah.
But it does look like fun. There is a mobile game where you build the theme park.
There is.
Yeah.
I remember Dino Tycoon. We used to have that in our schools, and it was really fun.
There was a Dino Tycoon?
It was a Dino Tycoon.
There was a Dino Tycoon.
It was awesome. It was very basic and not very big, but it was really fun.
I even remember this coming out. I never played it because, again, it was at that age where I was too old for that. But
I was right there.
See?
Right in that perfect age.
Yeah. You're not an old man like us. That's what's wrong. So Shadow of War, we don't go into it. We're going to go into that in a second because we're going to have a big sort of discussion about Shadow of War. But anything else you've been sort of playing this week, Drew?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Lots of Shadow of War, trying to get caught up on that.
Yeah. You also played some Destiny 2. I saw that.
Well, I play Destiny 2 every week, so.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing that I want to bring up, because this is sort of what I've been hearing from the community for Destiny 2 is that a lot of people are leaving this game real quick because there's not a lot to do right now in Destiny 2.
I'm pretty bored with it.
Yeah.
It's still fun to do the Nightfall and some of the challenges with my friends. We're going to try to do the Prestige Nightfall tonight.
Okay.
I'm sick and tired of running the raid, largely because the raid requires a lot of cooperation, and if you don't have just like with any raid though, if you don't have a good team, it sucks. And you can just be a little off your game, and then it just also takes forever.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to feel like I'm committed to 6 hours worth of playing video games.
Not just that too. You also have to coordinate the 6 different people together for that 6 hours, and it can be tough.
Which is very hard when you're dealing with adults.
I mean, as someone who used to have to run 40-man raids in World of Warcraft, I understand this feeling quite well, because some of those raids would take 6 hours, and you have to manage 40 different people. Yeah.
So, I mean, the end game is definitely there's some stuff that they need to do to make it a little bit more interesting.
Okay.
And I sort of acknowledge that. I hear what people are saying.
Yeah. Because I feel like almost the high, when Destiny 2 came out, there was this huge high about that game. People were really sort of happy with where that game was.
Including the three of us.
Including all three of us. Where now I feel like it's really I feel like it's almost dying quicker than Destiny 1 original end game sort of lasted.
Yeah.
I guess. So that's sort of the feeling I'm getting from it. So I'm hoping the expansion pass content sort of revitalizes a lot of that. Because again, it's one of those games I want to play more. But yeah, for me, I don't even see a reason really to go back, especially because I don't have a dedicated raid group or anything like that. So if I'm not doing that, what am I doing in that game besides PvP?
Me too. I loaded it up and I was very bored. I was like, oh, there's not much for me to do now,
Yeah.
like at all.
Yeah.
To be fair, I still think Destiny 2 is worth it for someone who hasn't jumped in yet because the single player, like the campaign, was as good. Like the leveling process was still really fun, and I still think that's still worth your.
You'll get a good 20
$60.
hours out of it for sure.
Yeah.
And you could do that solo, no problem.
And you know, like at this point, like I'm just waiting for the expansion content, which is not far away.
Yeah.
Right?
December, right?
Well, that's the rumor. They haven't given it a date. They also talked about seasons this week at TwitchCon, and the seasons sound interesting. Like your guild XP stuff, your guild level goes back down to 0, but then you get new guild bonuses. By the way, being part of a guild has really made it really fun. And like seeing the new stuff that comes out of that and getting like clan XP or whatever. Excuse me, I keep saying guild, but it's clan in Destiny. And there's going to be new weapons and archetypes, and they're going to tweak everything as they go through. So there's going to be 4 seasons in a year.
Okay.
So there's things definitely to look forward to, that there's going to be tweaks and changes. But yeah, I mean, the raid and then the prestige raid and then Nightfall and the prestige Nightfall are basically the things to do right now. And if you've, especially there are people that have the fucking raid down to a science, you know.
Even the prestige raid, from what I hear.
Well, apparently the world record for the prestige raid relates to a cheese thing that someone did, an exploit that they've announced that they're going to fix. They were hoping to have it fixed this week.
Yeah.
But they wanted to roll the prestige raid out, so they didn't wait. They just put it out with the bug still in it that lets you cheese the end boss, I believe. So yeah, you can still play it and still have fun. But they're gonna fix that hole next week. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Okay.
With the raid and how people approach it after that hole has been patched. So.
Nice. See, I want to keep checking in on Destiny 2 because again, it's one. I do want to get back and play it. At some point.
I'm very excited for whatever the expansion is. Like they've teased the shit out of it throughout the game. There's all these little hints for that and other expansion content that's coming. So I'm like really excited. Like there's obviously some stuff. It looks like we're gonna go back to Mars at a certain point. And there's if you played some of the adventures on IO, there's some stuff that teases that, and yeah.
Cool.
There's still reason to be excited for it. Just the fact that there isn't like something to do like every single day. I mean, no game can live up to that, right? There's not going to be something new all the goddamn time.
Well, we're not going to count MMOs in here because
again, people compare it to an MMO, but it is not an MMO.
I was going to say, yeah, because like Hollow's End is going on in World of Warcraft this week.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy also has a Halloween event right now. And
yeah.
Folks, there's lots to do in those.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's no Halloween event for Destiny because they have
I'm
one
actually really
the
surprised
last
by that, too.
couple of years.
I'm kind of jealous of Overwatch players. That Halloween event looks awesome.
Oh yeah, they usually do it right. Yeah,
And even Hearthstone as well also has an awesome Halloween event going on right now too. Like all the Blizzard games do Halloween right and do all the holidays right because there's a Christmas one coming up too. There will be a Thanksgiving themed one for all those games as well. So yeah, it's exciting.
Maybe those PC numbers will boost sales and hopefully get some more stuff going on in Destiny 2.
Hopefully, yeah. Which is a game that's coming out this week. Which
is
pretty
little
exciting.
plug right there.
Yeah, exactly. Rock, what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing Golf Story. I think I'm almost done.
Yeah.
I'm like on the last world, so I know I'm done.
Yeah.
But I've been like really slowly like playing through it. It is probably going to be on my top 10 games of the year. I absolutely love that game so much.
Nice.
I haven't laughed at a game like that hard all year. The play mechanics are really good. There's a few little bugs here and there, but it's like what you would expect from like a 4-person dev team who made this game. So props to that. I've also been playing South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
That game about superheroes and
That game about superheroes. The delay hurt. It would have been better had it come out when it was originally supposed to.
Okay.
A lot of the jokes are a little old and stale. And it relies really heavily on like the last 2 seasons' knowledge of the show, opposed to where the first game kind of like was everything South Park.
That's
like,
one of the things I liked
there were so many
about it,
people,
yeah.
like so many like old references thrown in there. Where this one, I'm not really getting that. Like there's all like it's like a lot of new characters, a lot of new jokes. And like the superhero thing is kind of played out at this point too.
Yeah.
Like the Stick of Truth just had a better story, but this game has better mechanics. It's not very much longer, which I'm shocked about. Like, I'm on the last boss, so I just have to beat that, and I hate the last level
And
so
how long
much.
have you said you sort of played for?
12, 13 hours.
Okay, just to give like an accurate representation.
Yeah, so it's not a very big game, and that's pretty much completing all the side quests too.
Yeah.
Like I don't have much else to do. Like, and that's like all the collectibles. Like I can probably 100% the game in the next like 3-4 hours easily.
I've also heard the game's not super difficult either. Like,
Oh, it's really
putting it
easy.
on the hardest difficulty is like kind of a breeze.
Yeah, I should have probably put it on the highest one, and you have to put it on the highest one to get the one achievement, which is the one I won't get now.
Yeah. So you won't actually 100%.
I won't get all the achievement, but I count 100% getting everything in the game. I don't count the
collectibles?
achievements. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty fun game. I mean, if you like the first game, you'll definitely, I think, like the second one.
Yeah, for me, like, I'm not a huge South Park fan. I like
Mm-hmm.
the humor in South Park, but I don't really watch the show South Park.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, hearing you talk about how it sort of rewards people who have the knowledge of the last few seasons,
Mm-hmm.
it just makes me not want to jump into it right away, like, even more so, because, like, knowing that, like, again, one of the things I liked about the first game was that it threw in so many jokes around like all the seasons of South Park, and you didn't really have to be like an up-to-date South Park person to enjoy it. So it's a little disappointing to hear.
It also doesn't go as out there as the first one. Like you're not like battling under your like dad's testicles or like climbing like with Lemmy Winks. Like there's no like really crazy weird battles or like really out there fun things. Everything's really grounded.
Okay.
Which is kind of a letdown. And like even like areas of town, like if you haven't seen the last season, you won't know about like Soto and stuff and like why it's run down and like that's all weird. Like so that you like will go over your head and like what's that do? Like why does Kenny's house have a store built on top of it?
Kind of like how last week Drew and I were talking about the Casa Bonita DLC, and I'm like, I didn't even know what that was. I had to look it up.
Oh, really? Casa Bonita's like kind of back in the day.
But I
like,
also
it's a little bit old.
That was also when I wasn't watching South Park.
I like Casa. I don't really know how Casa Bonita is gonna fit in.
It's like a DLC that involves vampires. It's like a Dust to Dawn ripoff.
Okay, gotcha.
Apple Pie Pussy.
Good movie.
You
and then I think my big.
Apple Pie Pussy. We had a very long
We
conversation.
just talked about this last week
Yeah.
too.
I think the biggest thing I do not like is that the show has evolved so much from what it was, and there's no more like poop jokes or fart jokes really in the show anymore. It's like mature and it handles like real world situations and like it's like very topical and like it grew as like we grew, right?
Yeah.
But the game has so many stupid fart jokes and poop jokes and like everything revolves around your farts and your gas.
Yeah.
And like
Which the first
I just
game did
don't yeah, but not to this extent.
Okay.
It is like it's through the roof now. And it's like it's not funny. It's not funny the first time. It's not funny the 500 times Stan shoves a fucking tube up your ass.
Yeah.
Like it's just not I don't like it. And that part bothers me a lot.
Now, to be fair, it is tougher for a video game to be poignant in the same way the TV show South Park is, because it's a one and done thing. You're watching it on TV, and that's sort of the end of it. Whereas, like a game like this is going to have a shelf life of at least a year or two. Like, it's tougher to do topical things in a game like that. So I can understand why they might have to shift the style.
I think that's bullshit, man.
What?
I think that's a lazy excuse. I think if they could do some stuff that would be really clever, that tied in with game mechanics that really spoke to things, like doing something that puts you in a position where like you have to collect something or something, and then basically forcing an entire neighborhood into poverty or something, right? Like, you know, like as you do something, you could like be like gentrifying people and like inadvertently pushing out like a particular like a racial minority or something. Like I think there's plenty of opportunities for like to not have that, as they say, ludonarrative dissonance, and they could still do it in a really powerful way. Okay. I think that's just a fault of the fact that they still don't know what they're doing, right? This is because Matt Stone and Trey Parker are really, really involved in this, and they admitted with Stick of Truth, they said we had no idea what the fuck we were doing. We wrote like a 10,000 page script and then realized we had to throw out like 90% of it because that's not how video games work, right? You just can't throw content at it. So, you know, I think they're still trying to find their feet, and I would really like to. I mean, clearly they've always had a knack for the narrative, but being able to tie that in with clever game mechanics, that's where I'd like to see them evolve. And it's what I'm hearing now is it sounds like they haven't.
No, and there's also a lot of like racial things and like things that don't really have like a purpose other for them to make fun of like racist like issues and stuff, like the whole overall thing, and like there's weird like jokes about H.P. Lovecraft's like racism and stuff, and like it's just like weird, and you're like, oh, like I don't like you're trying to make a point, but you don't ever like bring it home or like drive the point home, like oh, okay, like police brutality is a thing, but you're just like making light of it and making it into a joke opposed to like actually like making a stance. Yeah, like making a difference.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole part of the game too. At night, all the parents get really weird, and they don't really ever go on why. And that kind of just gets lost in the woodwork.
Okay.
Oh, it's kind of like the murder mystery from Metroid Other M, which just never gets solved.
Right.
They never talk about it.
Yes, just
again.
like that.
They just have this
like
whole
that.
like subplot about this that lasts like the whole game until the end, and then they never.
Yeah.
So maybe it's gonna be in DLC. I don't know. There's just like it's a fun game. Like I'm really enjoying it.
Well, the DLC is all like we got the DLC breakdown last week. Drew and I talked about it. And it was all a bunch of spin-off content. So stuff like parodies of The Danger Room, parodies of From Dusk Till Dawn, and then there was one other one that they just didn't have a ton of details on, and maybe it could be in that one.
I think these DLCs need to come out fast. Like they're like pitching like sometime in 2018. Like I think this needs to come out like sooner than later.
Yeah.
Like let's get this over before even the next season of South Park's done. Like Like this, like no one's gonna come back to this game in April or May. Like that's just too far off down the line.
It's different with Assassin's Creed because we talked about them both at the same time because they announced them the same like 2 days from each other. And Assassin's Creed has one of its 2 expansions coming out this year, whereas South Park isn't doing that. So it's just it seems weirder that Assassin's Creed has the content that's coming out this at the end of this year and this game isn't.
Well, it could be dependent on how it sells too, right? Like they could easily cancel the DLC now.
True.
Depending. Also, I want to go back and play the Stick of Truth now and see if it holds up as well as I remember. Because I love that game. I thought that game was hilarious.
Me too.
And it comes free with the second one, which is still really cool.
That's nice.
Like even it was a pre-order bonus, but now it just comes with the game.
It still seems weird that you can't buy that game on next gen consoles without buying.
That is very weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of want to go back. It's a short game. Like it'll only take me 10 hours.
Yeah.
So I might go back and replay it over Christmas or
You can
something.
Go through it pretty quick.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And I think that's it.
Do you still play as the new kid?
Yeah.
Is it the same new kid or are you a
You
new
can
kid?
bring over your new kid, but it doesn't matter because they don't seem to remember you anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have different parents.
Okay. So
you're a new kid, but you can have the same face. Like,
okay.
But you can change your costume and stuff so quickly.
Yeah.
And there's some great costumes. Like dressing your guy up is really funny.
So
I like playing. I don't know if you guys have seen the episode where the cops are all. The cop wants to dress up as a hooker to get inside the hooker ring. So he puts on like a wig and has his like orange mustache still. So you can dress like that, and that's what I've been playing the whole game.
That's pretty good.
Dressed up as a prosty.
Nice. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen? There's a great documentary. Well, it's not a documentary. It was 60 Minutes did a thing about it where it was like how quickly they turn around an episode of South Park.
No, that was they did that.
Was that them?
Them, yeah. It was around the Human Centipede episode.
Yeah, 60 Minutes did an episode about it too, I think, which is what I might be confusing.
Put it together in like 5 days.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So, and that's what they managed to say so topical. It's hard to do that with video games.
Yeah.
Because video games take longer to make. It would be nice to see them develop a platform where they could do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they put a prequel out to the game, and there was like obviously some very topical jokes, like Harvey Weinstein was mentioned a few times. So that was made, but like the prequel doesn't really fit into the game. Like what's like the prequel seems like it's clearly like developed and in the future.
Yeah.
Where it's supposed to be before.
Yeah.
Where these things haven't happened yet. It's I don't know. It's weird.
I think I might have come up with, as we were talking about this, brainstorm the perfect fix for this. Make the next South Park RPG episodical, like a Telltale game. Have a new episode come out like once, like have a 5-episode season. Have a new episode come out like once every 2 months. It can stay topical that way and just keep the same combat throughout because the combat sounds fine and you're good to go.
I'd be more into that as long as Telltale didn't make it.
No, I meant it's like the Telltale style.
There's a lot of glitches too. Like there are so many bugs in this game.
Okay.
Mine is crashed. Mine is like stopped. Especially, and it all seems to be. And like I've seen other people talk. Endgame has serious problems, and there is a lot of problems during the endgame.
And
it seems like they don't. I don't like the last few hours are pain in the ass. Like the battles suck, and I don't like not fun, and it's so easy. Like it's just so easy. Like you crush your enemies.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played the new Guardians of the Galaxy yet, but I'll probably do that this week and hate it.
I haven't downloaded it.
I'm ready
to play it. Yeah.
I am ready because the 4th episodes are always usually.
Now,
the
to be fair,
weakest.
I haven't played the 2nd episode of Batman yet either.
Oh.
So I should do that at some point.
Ah.
But yeah, cool. As for me, I played a few games this week.
You did?
So number 1, I'm playing a lot of Gran Turismo Sport, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. Yes, you have.
Now there's been a big kerfuffle about this game because it's a lot of people don't know this before buying this game. It's an online only game where basically it has single player, like a whole single player like section for like a career mode essentially, but the game won't see your progress unless you're connected to the internet. So as someone,
Well, that's the same as Shadow of War too.
well, that's only no. See, that's only if you connect to the WB network before you start the game.
Oh.
But if you actually don't connect that way and then start it, you can just go off and online as much as you want.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, that's something that was debunked. But yeah, Gran Turismo, again, as someone who has a stable interconnection, this doesn't bother me, but I can understand why it would bother someone who doesn't have one. The game is fantastic overall, though. It's one of the best racing games I've played in a long time, like ever since Forza Horizon 3, which was also an amazing racing game. Like Gran Turismo Sport is the best handling racing game I've ever played. Like just driving the cars has felt the best out of any Gran Turismo game, better than any other driving game I've ever played. Like it feels fantastic. All the cars feel very different and distinct. They feel like they would be real cars, the way they would handle the way that they would if you actually drove them. Like all of that minute-to-minute stuff is great. It is lacking a lot of features that a lot of other racing games do have. It doesn't have an open world like Forza does. It is more the classic racing game where you pick all your modes and then you sort of load each race individually. So you're not going like driving from place to place in this game. But in a way, I almost like that better because that's just the style of racing game I'm looking for. But if you're someone who likes the Forza style games that likes more of the open concept, like driving around the open area, then obviously this game isn't going to be for you. But I do think the game is really solid overall. I just wish I just wish it had more to it, to be honest. But I'm really liking my time with it so far. I'm quite addicted. I just can't stop playing.
Oh, hey, you know what? That reminds me.
What's that?
What we did get to briefly play yesterday was Forza 7 in 4K at the Microsoft thing.
Yes, we did.
And it looked really pretty. But it was very Forza.
But it's still Forza.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the version we saw wasn't actually running on the Xbox One X.
Oh.
It was running on the development kit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, I guess like the final one isn't like ready to be.
No.
I guess they're doing a debut for that this week actually.
Yeah.
In
Yes.
Toronto. There's like a
Friday.
yeah.
Yes.
You can actually go play the actual version, not the dev kit version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Other quick things before we jump into our Shadow of War sort of discussion. I also played Life is Strange Beyond the Storm episode 2. Fucking fantastic. Like I can't believe that they're knocking this out of the park the way that they are.
Still enjoying it, huh?
Because it's a prequel.
Yeah.
Video game prequels are always terrible, but
Yeah.
somehow this has broken the mold and it's actually good.
Yeah.
It gives me hope for Red Dead
Yeah.
because Red Dead's also a prequel, and that was my one concern for Red Dead was that it was a prequel and it probably wouldn't have the same oomph. Like the writing and the acting is so good, even without Ashley Birch as Chloe. But you can definitely tell that she wrote this game because, I mean, all of her dialogue is very similar to original Chloe from the first game. Again, if you can get past the voice changes, that's really my only knock with it. I mean, it's fantastic. It's only a couple hours long, as it should be. I'm so excited for episode 3. I cannot wait to sort of talk about that more once, because I really want to talk about Life is Strange before the Storm once all 3 episodes are out, especially once you've gotten a chance to play, because I know that's what
There's
you're
only
sort of
3. I
waiting
thought
for.
there was 4 episodes.
There's 3, and then there's a bonus one that's called Farewell. I don't even know how long that is. I'm assuming that's going to actually be pretty short.
I'll be picking it up as soon as all the episodes are done.
Yeah, so like I kind of want to save like a big discussion for when we both.
I had to replay like Life is Strange so many times because I kept forgetting what was happening. So
Yeah.
I don't want to do that again.
I have that same problem with
can't
those
do it.
episodic games.
Yeah.
Like there are times where like I just can't. I oftentimes wait until.
Or when it's so memorable,
Yeah.
like Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't care and I don't know what's going on each episode.
Yeah.
Like I could care less.
Poor son of a bitch.
No, and this is just the one episodic series where as soon as I see a new episode drops, I'm instantly downloading and playing it because I'm that excited to play it. Like I'm so invested in Life is Strange. So,
Yeah, well, we should though before we move on,
Yeah.
we should talk about the Xbox event we went to yesterday.
Yeah, we
that's
could.
true.
Yeah,
Before
Doc
we
and I
forget
went.
about that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we saw a bunch of. Well, we saw a handful of Xbox One X things. We sat. We talked to the product ambassador, and we got to ask him some questions.
I'm most excited about that Dolby Atmos baked in.
Yeah.
That's gonna be killer.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
360 sound is sweet.
Yeah,
And
so it's anything that is They said that is labeled as Xbox One X enhanced. Will include the Dolby Atmos and the true 4K.
The Shadow of War cover says Xbox One enhanced and like has that feature.
Yeah, so like Dolby Atmos is like an object-based sound thing, so that means like it's very positional and it's unique how they program it. It's really interesting, and it sounds really fucking cool, like really cool. Like, it'll have like really cool atmospheric effects and stuff like that. Forza looked gorgeous. Like there's some like the smoothest surfaces on cars, and like the road looked amazing. And you know, they talked about like the environment mapping looks amazing. That was
essentially
cool
they take photos of real world locations and place them over top.
Yeah, so they did photogrammetry, and they were telling us a little bit about that. And photogrammetry is the act of essentially creating 3D models from multiple still images. So what you can do is you can take basically a photo from a minimum of 3 angles, and then use those photos to create a 3D model using like depth mapping and stuff like that,
which is nuts.
Yeah, so they took real world locations. So we were driving around in the desert, and it looked like it looked very photorealistic.
Now, why are they only doing that in racing games and not say like an action game or like an episodic game?
Well, that's because things are a little bit less procedural in a racing game. Like, you know, it's pretty predictable what's going to happen.
Okay.
It's mostly just scenery, right?
You're basically just driving.
Whereas an action game, you're going to run over and stand on that, right? As a racing game, you're not typically going to park yourself on that cliff.
Especially an open world action game too. Like they really have to. They don't know which direction you're going to go in.
Yeah, they have to be very careful about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're on a grid, pretty much.
Because this is something.
Or you're on tracks.
Ubisoft talked about this when they were talking about how Splinter Cell, one of the Splinter Cell games, was being developed, and how they developed, like, really put a lot of effort into developing this one little thing on a wall that only like less than a percentage of players actually looked at, simply because of the fact that the whole area was exploratory.
Yeah.
So.
The other thing I had a chance to play when I was there was Super Lucky's Tale.
It's your boy.
Yeah, it is. It is very much.
I have so many Super Lucky pins, Pucky tail pins right now.
We
I can't speak. I just drink coffee and I'm like really hyper now.
Yeah.
My words are blending together.
We got a bunch of ridiculous swag. Took a picture of us with Ninjago masks on.
Yep.
But yeah, Super Lucky's Tale was really fun. It is definitely. It's a classic mascot platformer. Like, it's by the numbers. Like, it's pretty cool. It's got a cool thing where like you can burrow underground as well. But I mean, like, I didn't really see anything that really was like, oh, this is really exciting. It just really felt like your standard.
Well, and also I think a lot of it was just
platform.
a lot of stuff that was coming out before the end of the year. So I mean, basically, like, the event looked like it was mostly just everything we were going to play before.
Yeah, there was nothing new.
No, there was very little. There was zero new. Like, a lot of the stuff we looked around and we went, well, this is all stuff we played before.
The only future game that was there was Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Did you guys get to play it?
I did a bit.
Unfortunately,
but I played the beta too, and I really liked it.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, son bitch.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
I'm super
it's
jealous
like
now.
it's super tight. Like it's definitely like the best Dragon Ball game I think I've ever played. Like, other than like the Japanese bootleg emulators I played.
Oh yeah.
Where I don't know what the fuck's going on, but like this is way better than like Budokai.
Yeah.
Like, so much better.
Yeah, because it's mostly there was a Super NES fighting franchise, Dragon Ball 1, that was also a 2D fighter like this, and that's sort of what they were going for.
That was the Japanese one, right?
Yeah. The one that never came out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had import copies of like the second and third ones. So.
I played them on a PC through emulation, through a web browser.
Yeah.
It was not great.
A lot of people had to play those games, man, because, I mean, getting a Super Famicom ain't cheap. Importing games.
But that was like the only game that's coming up. This was mainly for like the family and friends and stuff like that kind of event. I mean,
the emphasis for this was like play together. It was meant to be a very kid friendly thing. There were a bunch of kids there, like families and stuff, which was fun.
I did get to play some Madden. I'm really tempted to still buy Madden. I really want Madden.
You didn't buy it? We talked about like the whole event. You're like, I should buy Madden.
I thought about it and I was like, eh.
We also talked about this when Madden came out too, because both you and I were excited for Madden. But yeah,
I know, I want the story mode, but I've heard
it's just right now. It's not the time to play.
Yeah,
no.
I've heard very differential like things on like how long the story is. Like, I've heard like 2 hours to like 8 to 10 hours, And I probably won't play it very much after that. And
8
it's
to-
already
8 to
dropped
10
in
hours
price.
is a
Like
good
Best
number.
Buy had it for $50 this week, and it's $50 on the PlayStation
I mean,
Store.
NHL was $40 this week.
Yeah.
And I managed to get that. I picked that up.
If I wait like a week or two, I'll probably get it for cheaper. So I'm just gonna let it go.
The only way I will play a Madden story mode is if it is literally an unofficial sequel to the film Varsity Blues,
If only.
where you play.
See, I think you said Rudy yesterday, and I would play the fuck out of a Rudy football
Rudy?
game. That would be amazing.
The other thing we suggested is maybe radio, which would be very bad.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
do that.
no.
That would explain why I'd be so terrible at football.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was that.
That was cool.
I'm getting the Xbox One X on Friday, so I'll be checking that out. So
You're-
we can talk about that on the 100th episode.
Can you actually talk about it then, though?
Yeah, I can talk about it then.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know when you were going to.
I don't think I can review. I have to read the like stupid long embargo, but like I don't think I can review it, but I can talk about it.
Can't give an opinion of it.
Yeah, but I can talk about it.
We can talk about it.
Yeah. Which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's no whittle. We saw one when we were
It was
there.
I was supposed to have it on Friday this week, but it got stuck at the border.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Oh, hey, you know what looks super hot? Speaking of which, one more thing that I saw
Segue.
there. The fucking the Minecraft Xbox
Oh,
One.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it just makes my balls quiver.
Even
so
more
good.
so than on the stream because it looks fucking gorgeous.
Oh,
when we
it's
saw
so
it on the
cool.
stream.
It's really nice in person.
Yeah.
Like you gotta like display that out and
Yeah.
keep it up because the bottom is
Yes.
beautiful.
The bottom has like little like redstone kind
Okay.
of like path on it, and you can see the CPU and stuff. It's
I think
awesome.
I have like 10 Xbox One controllers, but I think I might go get that Minecraft one because I really like the green one. Too.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
So the creeper and not the pig.
not the pig.
I'm not a
The
big fan of the pink.
pig one's boring. As
I
shit.
like the creeper though.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not even like a Minecraft guy, but that console is really sweet.
You know, Brock. There's no wrong time to get into Minecraft.
I have it on like every single system I own except the Switch, which I'll probably
Yeah.
buy it on and play at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Like on the plane.
Minecraft's a fun game. It's really.
I just don't get it. I have no idea what to
I
do.
enjoy it.
The
Make a tree for it, man.
The thing is-
Make
It
a tree
took
for
me
it.
about 10 hours to figure out that I was supposed to do that. I was just going around chopping and dying.
because
Yeah.
that's what you do in Minecraft, Brock. That's the thing Minecraft does. It's basically like playing with Legos. You build whatever the fuck you want to build.
But it's so hard to build things.
Well, you'll learn. You'll learn.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
You're not even that old.
You're 10 years younger than me.
Yeah, but I'm 50 years older than people that play Minecraft. They're young bucks.
I play Minecraft.
I play Minecraft too. I used to play a lot of Minecraft.
How long has it been out now?
Like 12 years.
Yeah, like 2008, I think was when it came out.
Wow.
2009, around then.
Good on Minecraft.
And that wasn't the official release. The official release of Minecraft was in 2011.
Yeah.
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 Sort of like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, which I hear is getting a 1.0 patch soon, which means it'll actually be officially a game. Officially.
Whoa.
Yeah. For it's be a big boy game.
There was no PUBG on display yesterday.
Well,
despite the heavily rumored that it's coming out this
I
year.
think they just had to have like that.
Heavily
game is
rumored. It
running
has
on
to come out this year. Their exclusivity window ends at the end of this year.
Well,
No.
we'll see.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
That's right. We will see.
Fucked.
Yeah. All right. So we got to move along here.
Yeah.
So last thing I played before we jump into
we're still in this
is
section.
Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yeah.
I played this week. I'm not going to talk about it till next week though because I'm only a couple hours in. Really good so far for a Musou. I'm not a huge Musou fan, but I love Fire Emblem. I like all the little touches they have. So I'll talk about it more in detail next week.
But
Okay.
someone who doesn't like Dynasty Warrior games like this game.
no.
All right.
But
I'm
I don't
out.
like. But
Yeah,
to be fair,
it's a Muso ass Muso. Like,
Yeah, I don't-
do not.
to be fair,
think
I don't
it's
like
not.
Musous either. But I'm enjoying it because
But you're
from a
super into
fun-
Fire Emblem,
Yeah.
and I'm not super into Fire Emblem, and I'm really not into Dynasty Warriors, so
Yeah.
I would not like this game.
Exactly. Same with Hyrule Warriors too. People really got into that because they like Zelda.
Yeah, like I would play Hyrule Warriors because I love Zelda.
I didn't
Yeah.
like Hyrule
Yeah.
Warriors. I thought there was an actual proper Fire Emblem game coming out for the Switch.
There is. It's not coming out until next year though.
Oh, okay, next
It's
year.
a wise up.
Yeah. I'm super
Okay,
pumped.
that'll be.
That's gonna
I'm
be-
ready for
that's
that.
gonna be amazing.
Marth,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
If Martha's in it.
Yeah, Martha's in all. Is in all.
That's all my. that's all
Martha
my
wasn't
Fire
even in the
Emblem
last
knowledge.
two.
Don't worry, you'll get it.
Isn't he on the cover of the new one?
He is in the cover of Fire Emblem Warriors, but
'Cause he's in Fire Emblem Warriors.
because that's a crossover game between all the different Fire Emblem games.
Yeah.
Whereas the last two, like mainline Fire Emblem games, he was not in. He
He's got-
wasn't in Echoes either.
It's got Robin in it.
It does have Robin in Warriors. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I played a Fire Emblem game on like the GBA
In fact, Robin can be a guy
It's
or
just
a
a
gal.
possibility.
back in the day.
Yeah. What about Crom?
Crom's in it.
Yeah.
There's also a Crom amiibo.
Crom's my boy.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about Shadow of War. So Of course, I'm here with Drew McMillan and Brock
Hyped
McLaughlin.
up.
Yeah.
And
Not
Ryan.
to talk about Shadow of War though.
Yeah.
Don't say that. So we're gonna play. Don't spoil it. Okay. We're gonna talk about Shadow of War now. This is sort of our review discussion for the game. So first of all, we played it to varying degrees. I know,
Yes.
Drew, you've only played it a little bit, right?
I've put about 6 hours into it since Friday.
Okay.
So like, I was like, the podcast is coming up. I really got to play this game, and I dragged my ass into playing it as much as I didn't want to.
Yeah.
As I mentioned last episode, I was having a hard time playing this game.
Yeah.
I don't know why, and that'll key into the discussion here.
Okay. And Brock, just for the record's sake, like you've only played for like 10 hours, right?
No, I'm about 15, 16 now.
Okay, so
and
you're
I,
more than-
yeah.
Do you have an army yet?
I'm just at that part now.
Okay.
That takes too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too long.
As for me-
Too long.
Too long describes the game.
Because we got because I was playing the Ultimate Edition too, and you get those orcs from the loot crates, and I just wanted to fucking use them, but they're not there.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to figure out the menus because there's so much going on that I did not know what was. I was like, am I missing something?
Yeah. As for me, I finished the game.
good.
I wanted to wait to review it until I finished the sort of end game, because there is an end game to this where it lasts another 15 to 20 hours once the game's over. Basically to get the second ending, which we'll talk about.
I could care less about the story as it is.
But I mean, for me, yeah, like I honestly, I got like really invested in this game. Like I really I felt like I just wanted to keep playing this game for a while. Like I just wanted to go back, explore the environment, sort of. Again, we talked about it last week, Drew. I collected all of the game's collectibles when I finished the game halfway because I felt I was so inspired to actually explore all these environments that I got all the collectibles already.
Yeah.
So how many hours did you put into it?
62
Okay.
is what my Xbox reads
Okay.
when I finished it.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, we're going to sort of talk about all the things about this game. I just wanted to put it out there. So first of all, there will be a review on the site. I've started writing it, but like I said, I didn't really finish the end game stuff until Friday. So I wanted to make sure that I at least had some time to put in my coalesce my thoughts essentially.
Yeah.
So that'll go up Monday night at the latest. So that's going to be up on game-moose.com at some point. So Drew, start us off. First of all, you've only played for a little bit. Again, you only said like 6 or 7 hours.
6 or 7 hours, yeah.
How do you feel about this game so far?
It's not a great game. It should be a great game, which is probably one of the reasons why I find it so disappointing. It's good. It's not terrible though. And I'm going to level a bunch of criticisms against it. And basically it's why this very intense AAA game is not in the tier that it should be in. I think that's ultimately what the point of my position is. Simple things like the field of view feels way too close. Like your character is way too big in the action, and it gets really distracting. The management of gameplay, it feels weird. Like you feel like a superhuman right off. Like this Talion is the most athletic person in the world.
It's so much easier than the first one.
Yeah,
you
like,
do not die. Like it's so easy.
The combat is repetitive. I've died a few times.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've died a few times in like getting myself way in over my head and like knowing that I was doing that.
In the first game, that's when I felt like I died too, though.
Yeah.
In the same circumstances.
Yeah. So like, I mean,
I found the first one way harder. Sorry.
it has a really big problem with like explaining the world. Like it just drops you in and you have no idea what's going on. It does a pretty terrible job of recapping the events that lead up to the events at the beginning of the game. Like all of a sudden, Celebrimbor is been captured by Shelob. The fuck, how'd that happen? Like nobody tells you. Shelob turns into a sexy lady who, by the way, normally is a giant spider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sexy lady in her underwear.
In fact,
Usually a giant
Would have
spider.
been much more intimidating as a spider.
As a spider.
Would have been way cooler as
Yeah.
a spider.
but the spider doesn't talk, though.
The spider can talk. Why can't a spider talk?
Oh, it probably can. We've never seen her talk in her spider.
Yeah, they're gonna change the lore this much. They can make the spider talk.
Yeah. I mean, I've never wanted to fuck a spider more than this video game, which also... That's another element of like just how confusing this game makes me feel. So you kind of just get thrown into shit. It's not really clear what the fuck is going on. And then like you just get dropped into the world. Like you follow like a little tutorial, And then all of a sudden it's boom, open world, and you're like, wait, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, you have quest markers, but it's not entirely clear how you should be prioritizing things. So I just kind of went off on this weird little tangent where I just started hunting the captains.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, like, there was one captain who was like level 17, and like you started the game, like by the time you're like level 3. So you kept kicking the shit out of me. But I'm like, no, I'm going to kill this guy. This is when I started having really a lot of fun. But even leading up to this, I kept running into other captains, and there are times where it gets really, really tiresome, where like you accidentally will bump into like 3 captains at once, and then they all do their little stupid fucking intro animations, and you're like, shut the fuck up, I just want to fight. I get it, you're a tough guy. I don't need all the action to stop and for the singing orc to go, now I will kill you. You know, like it's so fucking irritating.
I don't think their voices match them at all, and like them all made fun of that in that Conan segment, and they don't work. Like, I don't think they work for the orcs at all.
They're so well spoken.
Yeah.
Like, they're very, very, like, they sound like classical Shakespearean actors and shit like that.
We get it. You paid money for these actors to, like, famous actors to do these voices.
And really fucking ham it up.
And you're really making sure that we know it's them doing the voice.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of that. Like, I don't find them intimidating. I'm like, these are really stupid.
Yeah. Especially, like there's one that, like, some of the traits for some of the orcs, the personality traits, one that there's a guy that sings and he has a lute and he's really fucking annoying. Another one, there's one that, like,
there is a Shakespearean one.
There's
one that really wants to touch you.
There's the screamer.
There's the screamer
who just screams. It just like he breaks up his lines of dialogue like he would if he was just talking to you with screams. It's so good.
Like when they were coming up with the archetypes for the orcs, they're just like, who are the kind of people you meet on Tinder? There's the person who talks in flowery language. There's the screamer.
They all think they're comedians.
They do all think they're really funny.
Comedians.
Some of them do.
Some of them just want to unreasonably touch you.
Some of them just want to rip your legs off.
It's really weird when they flirt with you, though. Can we all agree with that? Like,
I'm into that.
When an orc is like, "Hey, your soft pink man flesh looks like it would be nice on my hands," and you're like, "The fuck, dude." Anyway,
I find them get very repetitive really fast too.
Yes,
a lot of them.
That's the other thing is,
the
like,
same trope.
There's about 16 of them, which means that you see them all pretty quick.
Well,
like, right?
That's at the beginning of the game.
Okay.
Later in the game, you see many, 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 many more.
Well, here's the problem: the beginning of the game represents about 16 hours, right? Like,
this is true.
Right.
You only have that because there are 5 total areas in the game,
right?
Not including the end game stuff, which I can talk about at a later date. I want to make sure people played it first before we talked about that. In the 5 main areas, each has their own fortress, and each has like 16 or so captains that then even rotate out. Yeah. And then they're all very different depending on from area to area as well. But like different nemesis will spawn in different areas under certain conditions.
But this is the problem, and then is that you're in a particular area for so long that it means that you end up seeing the same, like basically the same archetypes stay in the same kind of areas.
Right.
You end up seeing the same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And like, when you're trying to get just from A to B and you hit like 8 captains on your way, and then like 2 of them repeat the same sort of shit, you're just like, oh, shut the fuck up.
You just wait till you have to do fortress invasions where there's like you have to fight like 10 captains at once.
Well, this is my biggest problem. It's just navigating around the world takes so long because you have to stop and just to fight with a normal orc takes way too long.
And why can you jump up some walls, but you can't clear like little like 2-foot fences too? Like, why can't you just hop over them? It's like, really frustrating.
Motherfucker can run nonstop for 45 minutes, can scale a straight vertical wall, and then he'll get to a little wooden fence and be like, "No, man."
Because Callum Brindor is a badass. He only likes to do badass things, not hopping.
I find it like
over tiny walls.
It has the mechanics of like the first Assassin's Creed game at some points. It's like we've gotten better at this. Like, this should be easier to navigate.
I do also like that, like, it cops out with shit all the time where it's like, oh, but then you turned into a ghost. Like, when you go into the bushes, it's like, you're not really crouching that much and the bushes don't really hide you that much, but you turn into a ghost. It's like, well, then why don't I just fucking turn into a ghost all the goddamn time? And like, when you jump off super high ledges, you're like, I'm gonna die. But then you turn into a ghost right before you land. You're like, then just fucking always be a ghost, man. Shit.
And technically, it's a wraith. Not a ghost.
You said you like the stealth. I don't understand how you could like the stealth because it's so easy. Like, they don't see you coming even if you're walking right in front of them.
The best is
and the central conceit for that, y'all motherfucking ghosts.
Yeah.
Well, the best part about that, Brock, is eventually you can get different stealth skills that allow you to to run silently, for example, so they notice you even less.
That's why would you need that? They already don't hear you coming. That's not the thing though. It's eventually you get this, eventually you get that. It just takes so long. The game is way too long.
Yeah. Like the particular arcs are like each little jump feels like it should be like 4 hours shorter. Right? Like each area should be shorter.
Or not necessarily shorter. I think that if you just want to do the main story progression, that should be shorter.
It should be easier to get to those things, like
kind of like the Elder Scrolls example, where the Elder Scrolls example in that open world, there's a ton of stuff to do.
Yeah,
but the game can be beat. You can beat the main story in 4 hours if you want to.
Yeah,
if you just want to do that, you just play those story missions on their own, and that's it.
And there's the occasional moment where in an Elder Scrolls game you have that travel slog, but you don't. It doesn't seem like you don't seem to have it as much.
Yeah.
And this one, like the very first mission that you get is go to the the barrows, right? So where you start relative to where you have to go means that you have to fight your way through a whole bunch of orcs. It's not entirely clear how you even get there because there are all these weird invisible walls and cliffs and shit. And then by the time you get there, then it just becomes, oh yeah, this is like a fun cinematic experience. But like, it felt like getting there was a fucking chore, like such a chore.
I think, like, again, and this goes back to what we were talking about before. This is all stuff that happens at first too, because again, later in the game, once you get more of the skills, it becomes a lot easier to traverse the environments.
I just unlocked the stealth run, so now I can run and people don't pay as much attention.
Yeah, or
even, I also feel like an asshole running past bad guys all the time.
Or even when you get the fast travel points in each stage.
Yeah.
Like once you've explored the map and gotten all the fast travel points, that's it. It actually became very quick for me to travel from place to place once I got to that point. But you're right, the ramp up of that is very slow in comparison to a lot of other games of its, like other third person action open world games.
I hate the towers. I can't stand the towers. I don't like looking down and trying to find like little points of interest because it doesn't mean anything to me.
It's kind of
I still don't know where they are when I get down there.
But in a way, I kind of liked it better than the Assassin's Creed method, whereas you get like the old Assassin's Creed method, where when you got to the top of the tower, you just pressed triangle and it unveiled all that stuff because you didn't get a sense of where those things actually were.
This game reminds me a lot of an old Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like that because the first game was like that too. It was very much an old Assassin's Creed game with like the Batman style combat on it.
Yeah, and like the combat, it like knocks like over and over. Like no matter how far like along you've played, it still tells you how to do it. It's like we get this. You parry. It's really easy.
You can actually you can go into the menus and turn
it's
that
literally
off.
just it's literally the square until a button prompt shows up.
Yeah,
like. Give me some more to do. Like Batman, at least it feels like Batman, like, and it certainly has like the same sort of thing with the cape stun thing that Batman has.
The Batman fighting is way more tight though.
Yeah. But this feels weird, especially like you push a button and he travels so far to do a swing. Like again, like he moves impossibly fast in a weird way. It feels like
because he's a wraith. That's what he does.
The amount of times
Talian's not a wraith. He's a person. He just has a ghost person inside him.
The amount of times I've hit A and rolled into a wall when I wanted to jump are ridiculous. It's like over and over and over.
Or later in the game when you actually go to dominate the orcs. You have to hold down B or circle in order to target them. But sometimes when you're in a group of like 4 or 5 orcs, it'll target all the small enemies first before the captain. Yeah. And I'm like, motherfucker, like, I just want this one.
Can you change the control scheme? Because I do not like
There is a way to change the control scheme. You just have to go in the options.
I wouldn't be surprised if you couldn't find it. Because another problem with this game, the menus are so fucking confusing.
They're so confusing.
There's so many layers. Things are way too small.
Yeah.
Right? Just putting equipment, fucking gems, like the
it's got a lot of minutia. It's got minutia to it.
The menus are just poorly designed.
Yeah.
Like it's just confusing, right? I shouldn't have to I shouldn't have to stand up and get like 2 feet from my TV so I can make sense of what I'm doing.
Why is everything like a rare or ultimate weapon right off the way too? Like everything is rare. Like I don't get commons. I only get like exclusive or rares, and I just delete them all.
Yeah.
Just get rid of them all because I don't really care.
Well, you sell them. You get better rares later in the game.
But it ruins the point of everything's a rare.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
you shouldn't be getting rares right off the bat.
Well, that's how you know they're rare, because you get them all the time.
So rare. Other than, is it start at rare and go up to like legendary and then epic and then?
Well, no. Legendary is the tippy top.
Okay.
There's common, there's, I believe it's uncommon, and then it's rare, and then it's legendary, are the 4
Majestic.
tags.
Okay, Ryan, since you finished this, do they set up for another one?
Well, do you want to spoilers or no spoilers?
I don't know if that's much of a spoiler if they
I
set
don't
up
think
a
so.
sequel.
Yeah.
Well, in order to tell you that, it would be a spoiler.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
So,
Did they kill Talion? Is he dead?
Fuck, I hope so. The guy has zero personality.
I know,
So-
I
he's
could
so
care
fucking
less.
boring.
We're
I
sort of
wanted
running-
him
He's
to
like a
die.
bad Aragon.
we're running short on time because we only have like 2 or 3 minutes left to talk about this. So
Right.
I want to get the positive points in as well. Like,
Yeah, I mean-
because we've been a little negative. And again, you also mentioned this is your like, we're being sort of creative criticism here.
Yeah, and I said, like, to be fair, the game really sung for me. It really started being fun when I started realizing, like, oh shit, this whole fun arc I'm going on with this super epic high level captain who's killed me, then fled when I tracked him down, and then I got really mad at him and really wanted to, like, I am gonna kill this motherfucker, and then I showed up finally and got to him, and like the thing that triggered the fight with him was like I find a bunch of food, and they're like and Kel Brindmore is like, oh, looks like they're having a big feast, and I walk in and kill a bunch of orcs, and then dude comes out and he's like, you come show up to fucking kill me at the feast where like we're celebrating me killing you? The fuck, dude? And then like we had an epic fight and I was just about to kill him, and then he like critted me and knocked me down. And I was about to, like do the thing where like you have like a parry, like a final parry before they kill you. And so I hit that, and what triggered it was not, I didn't get up and kill him. Instead, a fucking random ass Gondorian soldier steps between him and me and like sneaks one in between his ribs, kills him, he drops dead, and I'm like, what?
I bet that happened.
so cool.
What the
I was
fuck?
pretty blown away by that. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah,
That was cool.
But at the same time, I felt robbed because I'd been hunting this guy for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it was still pretty cool to realize all those things were.
I don't find the Nemesis
procedural.
system is that impressive this time around. They didn't do enough to change it.
It's not new.
No, it
you
just
know?
feels old now.
I'm like, so this guy too. One of the things that I'll tell you is that like because that all the orcs have like unique abilities. His unique ability was Vault Breaker, which means he can't jump over him.
Yeah.
But I constantly got the prompt to jump over him.
Well,
right?
they really want you to know that you can jump over enemies, Joe.
Except him.
Yeah.
It's like, if I can't, then don't give me the prompt to do it as like a parry prompt, right? Because he gives you like, so just give me the triangle prompt and let me know that when I foolishly hit X, then I
That's
will,
why after the
it'll
first
let it
hour,
off
I
for
went
me.
in the menus and turned those off because you can turn. It's a menu option you can turn off for. I think it's labeled under tutorials. There's a way to
Right.
turn that off.
Yeah.
So sort of to wrap up, like our final thoughts on this. After I finished the game, honestly, looking back on it, my criticisms sort of echo the stuff you guys talked about. I didn't find the Nemesis system as I sort of did at first, but by the time I got to the more areas and by the time I was sort of recruiting my own captains, like I felt like the game really opens up. The problem is, again, as you mentioned, the grind to get there is so long that it's hard to justify like someone without having like putting a serious time investment into this game to justify even playing this game, because you really want to make sure that like almost like Persona 5, where Persona 5 is an amazing game, but only if you give it 10 to 15 hours. And I mean, it's the same Final Fantasy 13 excuse, Drew, where basically we can't really, we have to obviously mention that when we can, so people know obviously if that's a thing to sort of expect in your game. But honestly, I actually had a lot of fun with this game. Going then, I mean, the story again for the most part didn't blow me away. It was very like, I wouldn't say forgettable, because I do remember points of the story, but it didn't grab me in the same way a lot of other stories grab me.
Yeah.
But the combat, the fluidness of the minute to minute gameplay really just, I don't know, it just struck a chord with me, which is again not what I'm the same vibe I'm getting from you guys, but that's totally okay. That's why we're different people.
No, like again, I'm not saying this is a bad game. I'm saying that it doesn't meet the expectations of what I thought a AAA game should be.
Right.
Right? Like this should be like I should feel the same way about this game as I should feel about like an Assassin's Creed game or something. But I feel like it's more like a B tier game when I when I actually sit down and play it.
Yeah.
So Ryan, are you comfortable giving it a score yet? Or
I already know the score I'm giving it.
All right, can you share the score?
I'm giving it an 82.
Oh,
I thought the game was
okay.
great.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I haven't seen it out, and my opinion of the game could change.
Yeah.
Like right now, I would probably give it like a 70.
Yeah, like I was low, definitely lower on the scale until after the very first castle siege, because we didn't
Right.
talk about sieges that much either.
Yeah.
The castle sieges are the best part of this game.
Right, and I acknowledge it, like totally. I can see that being a lot of fun, and I haven't gotten there yet. So
Yeah, especially when you start getting into online sieges where you take over other people's forts and stuff like that. That's one of the best parts in the game, and it takes so long to get there. So
yeah, we haven't seen drakes or ring wraiths or anything.
Yeah.
At this stage, I don't know.
I have
you
seen
have.
that.
I haven't seen that shit yet.
yeah, exactly. And there are some of the bigger bosses in that game.
Yeah.
So
So I'll stick it out. I'll keep playing.
You got to kill all the 9 ring wraiths.
yeah, you do.
And
crazy.
yeah, which totally changes the lore too.
Yeah.
From Lord of the, which totally fucks with
But
it.
again, it's a
and
what if story.
The ring wraiths. I mean, to be fair, the ring wraiths they can't be killed. Like you kill them, they keep coming back.
yeah, they don't
Right,
actually.
yeah, that's-
but they use characters that are in Lord of the Rings.
Oh.
but
It's
you
like
don't.
normal people.
But you don't actually kill them.
Yeah, but that's even weirder.
But they're ring wraiths. You can't kill them.
Right.
That's how it works.
So you kill them, and they just eventually
Yeah.
just show up again.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So we got to move on.
Do you take the rings, put the rings on, and be like, I'm the baddest ass ring dude?
I wish.
That would be cool.
You're not Thanos. That's not how this
That would
works.
be pretty baller.
Infinity and Ring Wraith Gauntlet.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta move on because we gotta talk about this other big story, of course.
Yeah.
EA closing Visceral Games.
Yeah.
So this sort of is like a punch in the gut, I guess, because I know both Drew and I specifically, and I think we've talked about this with you, Brock, as well. The Visceral Star Wars game was something we were really
Yeah,
into.
hell yeah. You
Amy
kidding me?
Hennig.
Yeah.
A story-driven Star Wars game? Fuck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let me sort of read over the blog, like the post that Patrick Solon had posted about this game, and then we'll get into it real quick because again, we're sort of running lower on time. So basically, I'm going to sort of skip to this part. So our Visceral studio has been developing an action-adventure title set in the Star Wars universe. In its current form, it was shaping to be a story-based linear adventure game. Throughout the development process, we were testing the game concept with players, listening to feedback about what and how they play, and closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. It became clear that to deliver an experience that players will want to come back to and enjoy for the long time to come, we needed to pivot the design. We will maintain the stunning visuals, authenticity to the Star Wars universe, and focus on bringing a Star Wars story to life. Importantly, we are shifting the game to be a broader experience that allows for more variety and player agency, leaning into the capabilities of our Frostbite engine and reimagining central elements of the game to keep Star Wars players coming back with a adventure of greater depth and breadth to explore.
AKA multiplayer.
Yeah. So that being said, there was some more information that came out after this. Where basically, let me just go back here because I have it all written out here, all fancily. So there was an update provided later in the day, because this report didn't mention anything about Amy Hennig specifically or what was happening with the game. The game itself is not being canceled. It is being moved to EA Vancouver, where it was famous for the FIFA series
Yes.
and other sports
Shout out
titles.
to the 604.
Yep. They
Hometown pride right there.
Right.
but when asked specifically about Amy Hennig, they said, quote, the company is in discussions with Amy about her next move, which also sounds like that
Amy
might not
moved
be
to
a thing.
Vancouver. It's a beautiful place.
And then
lots of biking.
last thing before we sort of dive into this, later in the week, Todd Stashwick, who is the co-writer of the game and also an actor on the project, because Todd Stashwick is an actor, he's in 12 Monkeys and some other stuff, said the following: for the record, it was a beautiful, amazing, fun, and funny. The ride for me was singular, talented, passionate folks making something great. So, for the most part, it sounds like basically they're taking the concept of what this game was and then applying that to like a Destiny style game is what I'm sort of getting from this.
Yeah.
What do we think about this?
Nope.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. EA closed Visceral. That fucking sucks. I love Dead Space. I love Dead Space 2. We can end the conversation.
Also,
about Dead Space
Visceral
there.
game used to be EA Redwood Shores as well.
Yeah.
So they had a bunch of games before Dead Space.
Yeah,
even.
I mean, broadly speaking, I think the discussion in the public, there are two things that are happening. There's people lamenting the loss of this Star Wars game, and also how EA fucking kills studios, right? Let's be real. Like Westwood, what else is EA shut down? Origin Systems,
Maxis,
Maxis,
Bullfrog.
There's so much. There's so many great legendary studios that they just shut down.
Yeah.
Right, because things aren't going their way. If things weren't working out with the studio, like, I don't understand why the default position is to just fucking dump it. Yeah. Right, flush it down the toilet. Because like we know that studio is capable of doing some amazing things. Like sure, and it feels like the places where Visceral failed are the places where EA basically was shoving stuff down people's
like meddling,
throats.
like Dead Space 3, how it had to have co-op.
Yeah, and how it had to have loot boxes or like people are theorizing things had to have.
Or even like Battlefield Hardline, because that was a game that was their last game that they put out.
There's no way anyone wanted to make that game.
We forgot BioWare and Maxis.
Right.
Well, BioWare's not close yet. Just BioWare Montreal.
Yeah. But yeah, Maxis is a big one.
Criterion.
For sure. Yeah.
Criterion's not closed down. They're working on Need for Speed.
Right.
And they're doing the Starfield. They're the ones who actually are specifically doing the space combat for Battlefront.
Yeah,
is Criterion.
Yeah, but there's some big ones. And Criterion is a shadow of what it used to be because most of the people from Criterion are at Ghost Games now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fucking sad that I was so bummed out. Because I was hoping that one day we would get a Dead Space reboot and that this game would be a huge success. And then we get like a Star Wars Uncharted like everyone thought we were going to get. It was a really well-crafted single-player game. And then I read this really compelling article, I think it was on Kotaku or Polygon somewhere, and it was basically, look, here's the reality is that like nobody really wants to make these big cinematic AAA games, single-player games anymore because they cost a fucking ton of money and they don't have a lot of legs. Like, I mean, the reality is I haven't played Uncharted since I bought it, or Uncharted 4, since I finished it.
Right.
I love that game to death. I understand what they're saying because I put way more time into Destiny 2, for example. Mm-hmm. And, in theory, more money, right? It's just a fucking bummer. Mm-hmm. It kind of feels like the kind of games that I love the most, it's sort of representative of that are going the way of the dodo. They're disappearing, right? We're not going to have... that kind of like single player focused, story driven, narrative driven kind of experience anymore. That's really sad. On the other side of it, what's happening with Amy Hennig also really fucking sucks because we know she's a very talented storyteller. Mm-hmm. And I really would like to see what she could do. And I was really hoping that like it would be like, yes, we're shutting down Visceral, we're moving stuff to another studio. Amy is going, we're shifting the focus of this game a little bit. We're dedicated to making this the best product we can. That's what I wanted to hear, not we don't know about Amy Hennig and Visceral's dead and this game is being retooled from the ground up.
Yeah, by multiple studios. They also mentioned as well, too, that this game was on track for fiscal year 2019, which would have meant it would have come out at the end of next year or early in 2019.
Yeah.
But who the hell knows when this game's coming out now? They have to redo it over again.
How many Star Wars games have we lost now?
So many.
So many.
Well, I mean, even from EA, the only Star Wars games they've released other than the Star Wars mobile game are Battlefront. Mm-hmm. Like Battlefront 1 and 2, and that's it. Like we haven't like they have a 10-year agreement in place like that started in 2013. So if this is like a Destiny style game and it doesn't come out, let's say until 2020, 2021, like are they really only going to keep it in service for those 2 years, or how is that even going to work? Like,
and we know my interest in Battlefront 2 is getting worse and worse. With the storyline announced to only be 5 hours long.
Yeah, but
that's very short. No, I expected an actual single player experience. 5 hours is very short.
Oh, what if it's a good, tight single player experience, and if they stretched it out, it would feel stretched out?
And I'm still left with some shitty multiplayer at the end of the day.
No, that's how you get Alien Isolation, Brock. That's how you get Alien Isolation. If you say 5 hours is too short. Because Alien Isolation should have been 5 hours long, and it would have been better.
Yeah, a lot better.
It's true.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Unfortunately, this is just not the type of thing, especially that with us really loving single-player games that you want to hear, because this almost signals like a huge shift in the industry, essentially, moving away from single-player games.
It had always been there. Like, we knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I kind of helped that, like, there was always going to be, like, the outliers, that you'd still have those big, like, sort of single-player cinematic experiences every once in a while. Mm-hmm. Right?
Oh,
But
we still have Nintendo. We're
Yeah.
still making a lot of single player games.
That's fair.
And we have so many indies. Like at the end of the year, my game of the year list is going to be a lot of indies and a lot of single player focused
and
games.
a lot of
I mean,
Nintendo
it's going to
games.
be again when you really think about EA and single player games. Though, when was the last time we had like a really good single player game from EA? Because the last one we got was Mass Effect Andromeda. Then before that was Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and other than the campaigns in Titanfall and Battlefield, which again the bulk of that game, those two games is their multiplayer. That's their focus.
To be fair, that's what made Titanfall 2's single player so good.
Right.
Is you weren't expecting it to be as good as it was, and it was fucking awesome.
And same with Battlefield 1s, because all
Yeah.
the Battlefield campaigns were terrible. But
Yeah.
Battlefield 1's was amazing. I love the
Battlefield 4's
vignette
campaign
ones.
was so bad.
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah.
bad. When the other, what was the other one?
even Hardline? Yeah.
Hardline was fucking
Yeah.
garbage.
Hardline
Don't
was
say that about
notoriously bad.
too soon, man. Visceral's not even dead yet.
It's not Visceral. I don't blame that on Visceral though.
I know.
It's Visceral's fault.
No.
You know.
Because we've seen them do great work.
Yeah.
The point I was sort of trying to drive at was just this type of problem doesn't happen in a vacuum, because I mean EA, I think just after Mass Effect happened this year, I think they're sort of retooling a lot of their franchises and rethinking how they're doing just about everything. And maybe this was a reactionary result of what happened with Mass Effect. Like they don't want, what if this game, we don't know if, what if the real reason they're doing this is the game wasn't coming along, or the vision wasn't, like the vision wasn't there for this game. Like what happens if that's the real reason they're doing
Guarantee that I have every reason to believe that the game probably would have been fantastic in my own mind. I can just see that like EA is notorious for compromising games by forcing them into doing stupid shit. You know, like games are already so complicated to make. There are only so many moving parts for things to come together. I mean, just talking about like what we're talking about with Shadow of War. You know, like Shadow of War feels like it's a game where a bunch of those great parts don't come together. For me, to be clear, right? And so when those things don't come together, and you just at a certain point you have to realize that like it's so complicated, you just have to cut your losses. You don't have to say like, no, we got to start again. We can't keep going this direction. You know, there's some point where there's so many moving parts, you can't fix it. You just have to kind of throw everything away and start again, right? So totally, that does happen. But I think more often than not, where games get compromised, especially these days, is people saying you got to have loot boxes. It's got to have multiplayer. You know, it's got to have skins. It's got to have this, right? And like, then you've got these companies that have like this great vision that have been working so hard and trying to get to a common point. Also, they're going to start shoehorning this shit in, and it starts compromising the final product. Yeah. That's what I suspect is happening probably more and more and more. And we talked about last week, you know, the loot box and microtransaction business alone is worth like several $1 billion.
We literally had a giant discussion about this, like half-hour discussion about this last week.
So I can certainly see why it's compelling for publishers to do this. And again, like the publishers aren't the creatives, so you can see you can totally see how that would compromise sort of like the artistic vision of a developer whose singular focus is on the quality of the product and not necessarily its fungibility in the same way that the publisher would focus on. Yeah. And that's sort of like push and pull. And it's felt like that the real problem here is that publishers have had too much power in the industry for too long. Because when you look at indies who don't have to deal with publishers as well, like we're seeing like just amazing, groundbreaking things come out of indies and games that you'd never expect to be successful, and being like wildly successful in crazy ways, like Stardew Valley. If you told me that there was going to be a PC-based Harvest Moon clone and it was going to just like destroy my personal life for 6 months, I would have told you were crazy. But it was incredible. Like it just blew my mind, right? Because they can take those kinds of risks and they can focus, and they don't have so much, you know, someone meddling with their vision.
And there's such small price for the consumer too. Like to buy into that is so cheap, and there's no like loot boxes thrown at you. Like if you pay $20, that's what you get. You get a whole game.
You could say the same thing about first-party publishers too, because and not just Nintendo. Microsoft does it with their games.
Yeah.
Sony, like with Horizon and other games they put out this year, like you don't see this type of thing with those games. Like they can take more risks.
They take more risks as first party publishers, and that's good. Right? Whereas the big publishers,
the big third party publishers,
the two big ones, like, let's be real, we can talk about them in vagaries, but the real ones we're talking about are Bethesda, EA, and Activision, and Bethesda to a lesser degree.
Oh, you said Bethesda twice. Do you mean Ubisoft?
Oh, sorry. No.
And you got thrown Ubisoft.
I guess, yeah, Ubisoft too. So Bethesda, Activision, EA, Ubisoft. Activision and EA are the worst ones, right? Of all of them. I mean, Ubisoft with their fucking what is their stupid thing that they always want me to sign into? Uplay. Fuck Uplay. Oh
Get
my
hyped.
God. Yeah.
It's called the Ubisoft Club now and not Uplay, to be fair.
Uclub.
Now,
Great. Now it has a different name for me to hate.
It gave me a lot of stuff for playing South Park, and then there's no like loot boxes in South Park, which is really nice and strange.
well, it's because
for
Ubisoft, the way that Ubisoft usually does their business is they sell you stuff through, like they sell you expansion packs or other things. They don't usually do like in-game cosmetics.
You can buy T-shirts with your character on them from Uclub for South Park.
Well, okay.
Which I think is cool. I think that's a great little thing.
Yeah, that's how they
better
usually
than a
do
loot
their
box.
usually how they do their cosmetic stuff. Anyways, guys, we got to move on. I'm sorry to cut the conversation short, but we only got like 5 minutes.
Killer
We gotta
of fun, Ryan.
Well, we got to go soon.
Yeah,
So,
there is one thing that we do have to talk about real quickly.
yeah.
before
So
we go.
talk about the NeoGAF thing real quick.
Well, and the
I
reality is
think that's where you're getting to.
we have to mention this because it's happening right now.
And we don't have all the details yet either, which is why we're not doing a huge.
Well, there's a reason why we don't have any of the details, and that is because they are killing the conversation. So let me check right now. So the last time we checked this morning, NeoGAF was literally down. You could not go to it. It was dead. So let's try to get to GAF right now. NeoGAF.com. For those of you who don't know what NeoGAF.com is, it is an online message board where people talk about video games. It is huge. Industry insiders talk there.
Not so much anymore after Gamergate.
Well, yeah.
That kind of sent everyone packing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're huge fans that talk there and stuff like that. Like it's a really, really big message board. It's notorious and like a lot of times stuff gets leaked there. Also, it's a place where like they have some pretty compelling conversations and some pretty toxic, shitty ones too, because people are people. The most recent thing has been that the current person who runs NeoGAF, whose name is, I'm trying to remember. Evil Lord. Tyler Malka. Even a few years ago, also known as Evil Lord, he was accused of sexual assault, and more recently has been accused, allegedly, very recently been accused of sexual harassment. Apparently, he was outed as part of the Me Too campaign, which relates to the Harvey Weinstein situation. And as a consequence, there were a bunch of mods who were like locking threads when people were trying to talk about this. Famously, in the past, Evil Lore has shut down these conversations and ordered mods to shut down threads where people were discussing his indiscretions and basically the horrible illegal things that he's done, allegedly. And so mods were locking things that eventually mods started basically locking things out of protest because they didn't want to do this. And then mods started leaving in droves, just locking stuff and then quitting to the point where the site was basically non-functional. Like there was nothing you could contribute to. And then at some point, it's unclear as to whether or not like the site crashed, someone pulled it down, or they just turned off the server.
Yeah.
We really don't know. But right now, NeoGAF is down.
Yep.
And that's huge.
It's happening.
Because it's a giant message board where lots of people are talking all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really I don't really use NeoGAF at all, but I know a lot of people do. I know you do, Drew. I'm not really a message board person.
I more go to GAF just to lurk. I don't really contribute on GAF just because like it's a good place to like get some like good news tips. You see things pop up there once in a while.
They had a good Candid Deals one. They talked about all the Canadian gaming deals going on,
which is helpful. Yeah, which was close to our heart. You know. Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff exists on Reddit too. So I mean, there's a lot of other message board sort of equivalents out there besides NeoGAF. So we'll talk about that more.
And Reddit will put the ban hammer a lot harder and faster than NeoGAF.
Reddit has a lot less tolerance for bullshit or just skeevy stuff than GAF does.
Especially because there's a lot of women behind it too who aren't going to tolerate that kind of shit.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, the reality is that if what's being said here is true, and by all accounts it very much seems to be, then Tyler Mucka deserves everything that's being shoveled his way. I'm hoping that GAF can survive this in one form or another, but hopefully it'll go a long way to like this sort of like ongoing sort of battle to get rid of the sort of the toxic shitty masculinity that exists on the internet. You know, where people are leveraging either their fame or their power to like take advantage of people in a lesser position than them in really awful ways. So it'll be really interesting to see. We'll talk about this more next episode.
Yeah, because we should have more details and other things.
Yeah, but it's really important to mention that this is happening. I mean, this is like the equivalent of like the World of Warcraft servers all being down simultaneously and for a pretty fucked up
No, that's
reason.
the end of the world, motherfucker.
For you. For you. The rest of us don't care.
Oh, jeez. All right, let's quickly wrap with the new releases, and then we'll plug things and go. So this week's new releases, there are big ones, which is why we're talking about them, but there aren't a ton of things coming out this week. So Destiny 2 PC coming out this week. Just Dance 2018, the number one best-selling game on the Wii.
For that,
Yeah. Hidden Agenda, which is the new game from Supermassive Games, makers of Until Dawn, up this week. Looks fucking awesome, actually.
Yeah, it does look cool.
Super Mario Odyssey, which is why I'm wearing my Luigi hat today.
Yeah.
Comes out on Friday. Get hype, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Origins comes out on Friday. And last but not least, Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus comes out
It's
on
going to be
Friday.
a busy week, ladies and
Can't
gentlemen.
wait to kill some fucking Nazis.
Why couldn't any of these three games come out on Tuesday and not Friday?
Or a week later. I thought one of them would budge.
Well,
They
because
did
the week
not.
later is Call of Duty.
That's fine.
And Bubsy. You can't go up against those.
Yeah, you can't go up
Why
against
is
Bubsy.
Ubi launching on Friday?
I don't know. That's
Because
weird.
Assassin's Creed actually usually comes out on Friday.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but also that's weird.
Yeah.
I know that Nintendo games typically come out on Friday.
And
because-
Bethesda always comes out on Friday, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Video game publishers, stop trying to make waves. Just put fucking games out on Tuesday like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Because that's fucked. Because now we're going to have to race to play as much of those games before next Sunday.
No, the idea is
Yeah.
like for next week, like I think the three of us are probably going to be playing different games.
I hope so.
I'll be playing Mario.
I'll be playing Assassin's Creed.
I'll be playing Wolfenstein.
Yeah, so there you go.
Right on. There we go.
Punch
Well,
Nazis.
I'll hopefully finish Assassin's Creed by come Friday.
To be fair, I'll also be playing Mario at some point too, but I'm mostly focusing on Assassin's Creed. I know you're going to focus a lot on Mario, so that's good. And then Drew's going to be playing Wolfenstein, so that's perfect.
There you go.
All right, so
100th episode next week.
next week, before we go, Drew, plugs go.
Tune in next week for the motherfucking hundo.
The 100.
Making it right.
People said that we
Yeah.
couldn't even make it to 10.
Who said that?
People said that.
Yeah, they're assholes.
Your mother's so mean, Ryan.
They don't know shit.
Is that true? She watches this show. She's going to be angry with you.
Thanks,
Hey.
Ryan's mom.
Hey,
Thanks for your
Mom.
support. We love you.
Hey.
So you're at D McMillan.
I'm at D McMillan on Twitter. And hey, guess what? Extra Life's coming soon.
Get hype,
Trying
motherfuckers.
to raise money for the sick kids. What? www.game-moose.com/extra life.
Yep.
Uh,
we will
we'll-
have the URL fixed soon.
No, it works now.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah. So game-moose.com/extra life. That'll get you to the donation page. Please help us out. By us, I mean the kids who are sick.
Yep.
We're just doing this for fun. It is really to raise money. Everything that we do for this thing is to raise money for sick kids. The organization here in Toronto that takes care of sick children in hospitals.
All across Ontario.
All across Ontario, both in Toronto Sick Kids Hospital and then other hospitals that have sick children's wards and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's important, it's cool, and it's charity.
And even if you don't have some bucks to spend, still come out and watch us on November 4th.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, just have a good time.
We're
and
going
laugh
to play a
along with
lot
us.
of really terrible video games.
Yeah.
As well as some good ones too.
Yeah.
Brock, plugs go.
Oh, I'm Matt Brock McLaughlin on Twitter. You can find me at www.brockstargaming.com. And you can find me touching people with my bare feet on well, I was going to say NeoGAF, but it's shut down, so you won't be able to see those videos right now. I'm sorry.
We're going to have to wait till it comes back up.
Yeah, but they're really good.
Yeah. It's happening.
Yeah. It's me wearing a Tom Hanks mask and just naked with my bare feet out.
I think I cross-posted them to RedTube, so I think it'll be okay there. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Ryan Turford. That's TURFORD. You can also find my Middle Earth Shadow War review this week on Monday night, sometime on Monday, just because I'm going to be busy in the next couple of days, but I'm going to make it work, ladies and gentlemen. Last but not least, this is going to be a weird plug, but I have 30 seconds. I'm going to say this anyways. I'm a big fan, I've mentioned this before, of Video Game 20 Questions played on the Game Scoop podcast, IGN's gaming podcast. This week, they played a game of Video Game 20 Questions with my suggestion for the game.
Woo!
So if you want to go and see if I was able to stump the panel or not, go check it out at IGN.com.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can actually all find us on Lawbreakers this week. We'll be one of 10 players online.
No. You can find us because we'll be the only ones. So if you want to play Lawbreakers with us, when you see 3 concurrent players, yeah.
That'll be us.
It's us.
Shaking my head at you.
Yeah. Hey, Cliffy B, come at me, bro.
That's them fighting words.
What up?
Anyways.
And with that, I take off my shirt and end this episode.
Drew McMillan and Brock McLaughlin. I'm Ryan Turford. This has been episode 99 of the Game Moose podcast, and we're out.